So in today's video, we're going to discuss some of the red flags that could impact your mortgage application. So to start off with, credit cards. If you're frequently maxing out your credit card accounts, that shows to the lender perhaps that you're not living within your means day to day. It can be a bit of a red flag. Also, if your debt to income ratio is too high, credit cards are the most popular form of debt taken. So if you are frequently taking lots and lots of credit card debt, that can also be a red flag to a mortgage lender. Another red flag is gambling. If you're frequently gambling, and if you scroll through your transactions on your bank statements and it shows a very clear gambling addiction, lenders will obviously be very wary of this, and they'll worry that the disposable income that they've calculated for you, rather than going on the mortgage payments, may in fact go on gambling. And that obviously increases your chance of defaults, missing payments, and it just makes your overall case with the lender a much higher risk for them. The third red flag to be aware of is hiding transactions on your bank statements. If you make redactions, you might be thinking to yourself, well, it's your own bank statement, it's private information, why can't you just make a few redactions? But by doing such, from the lender's perspective and from the Financial Conduct Authority's perspective, potentially you're hiding transactions, and obviously with anti-money laundering checks and all these other compliance checks that lenders and brokers have to go through, that's going to cause a red flag and suspicion. So you can't provide redacted bank statements. They have to show the clear bank statement, all of the transactions, and your name and address have to be clearly visible too. Another red flag relates to your transactions on your bank statements. If your transactions have no references at all, or perhaps they're rude references, the lender's likely to query it. So try to make your life easy, no rude references, and don't arouse any sort of suspicion from your bank statements, because the lender, if they have any sort of queries, they will ask questions around it. So another red flag is store cards. Now, if you don't know what store cards are, it's a type of credit card that you only get when you go to a store, like a retail shop. It works in a similar way to a credit card on your credit file. And normally they'll give you a facility that you can use up to, and you have to buy from that store specifically. But lenders and the regulator will see store cards in a similar vein to credit cards. If you are constantly in and out of your store card, in a similar way to lenders viewing credit cards, sadly, if you are maximizing your store card facility frequently, it does appear that you're not living within your means, so it can be a bit of a red flag to a mortgage lender. Payments to unknown third parties is another pretty big red flag. Now, as brokers, we have to do compliance checks. Now, anti-money laundering policies dictate that we have to check into anything suspicious, any sort of suspicious activity. So if you are making payments to a third party, even if it's totally innocent and you can explain it, just be aware the lenders and also brokers, if you're using a broker like Boon Brokers, we may well query it as well, just for our own compliance purposes. Frequently using your overdraft is another red flag. Same sort of vein of logic to credit cards and store cards. Again, if you're constantly in your overdraft and you're never out of it, and you're constantly or perhaps getting deeper and deeper into your overdraft month on month, it shows perhaps that your current lifestyle isn't sustainable. You might resort to taking out further debt, and your current income clearly isn't meeting your lifestyle needs. Someone like that who is frequently in their overdraft is a higher risk to a mortgage lender than someone who meets all their payments, perhaps is building a savings account and doesn't have to rely on their overdraft for day-to-day living. So it can be a bit of a red flag. So another red flag is payday loans. Now, if you don't know what a payday loan is, it's a short-term form of finance, normally for small amounts of money. But what characterizes payday loans is their high interest rates, normally payable, and they can be compounded as well. So people perhaps, if they have a payday loan for £1,000, it can very quickly escalate to many, many thousands of pounds and cause people to be in really horrible financial hardships. So payday loans, because they are viewed normally a little bit differently to other lines of credit with lenders, it can be seen as quite a large red flag, and it can quite quickly escalate and lead to people being in a really difficult financial situation. So those are just a few red flags. If you want to learn about more red flags that can impact your mortgage application, click the blog link below. We've written a full article about it. And if you want mortgage advice, we're a fee-free, whole-of-market and directly authorised mortgage brokerage here at Boon Brokers. Give us a call or an email and we'd be more than happy to help.